Zhang Weili versus Joann Jedrzejczyk 2, another amazing performance on UFC 275. Zhang Weili goes out there and scores a knockout of the ages against Joann Jedrzejczyk, spinning back fist KO. It landed with the forearm and puts Joann Jedrzejczyk out cold badly and sent her into retirement. Respect to Joann Jedrzejczyk, you showed up after so long outside of the cage, but Zhang Weili is gonna destroy Carla Esparza. First of all, let me just say that. And Zhang Weili looked like a whole new fighter out there. She didn't look as crisp on the feet, but I'll tell you this, she looked so much more well-rounded than Joann Jedrzejczyk, and so much more well-rounded than she's ever been previously in her career. Amazing performance by Zhang Weili. It was the perfect performance that we needed to see to know that she goes out there and destroys Carla Esparza. I do believe she'll be a big favourite over Carla Esparza if they ever do make that matchup next, which I assume they will, because Dana White said that was a title elimination bout in the women's strawweight division. An amazing performance by Zhang Weili. It started off a little bit sketchy. Joann Jedrzejczyk was landing some good shots here and there, having some moments, but then Zhang Weili, and I said this as well, I said Zhang Weili was going to go out there and destroy Joann Jedrzejczyk with wrestling. I said she was going to get some takedowns, land some ground and pound, and win the fight based on that. She didn't win the fight based on that, but it was a massive part of her game, and it looked amazing, in all honesty. It wasn't just a silly diving for a double leg and catching Joann Jedrzejczyk off guard. This was like a partially defended takedown by Joann Jedrzejczyk. She stuffed the takedown first of all, but Zhang Weili hustled and used some trips, inside trips, outside trips, hooked the rear leg while she had a single leg of her own, dunked Joann Jedrzejczyk down, kept great control time, great scrambles, got into mount, landed some big ground and pound, some massive elbows on Joann Jedrzejczyk's face. Honestly, I didn't remember quite how much Joann Jedrzejczyk landed in the first, but when I was watching it live, I was thinking to myself, this is a women's 10-8. And when I say women's 10-8, I mean it's different in women's MMA for a 10-8 round than a men's fight, because women don't really have too dominant of rounds anyway. So if there is a massive sign of dominance, then you're just going to give it to them. They don't really have to score like 2 knockdowns and win the entire round on top of it. They just really have to dominate and win a round clearly with some great ground and pound, because you don't normally see ground and pound like that in women's MMA. And Zhang Weili just showed how good she is since training with Henry Cejudo. I said it in a build-up. She's been training with Cejudo. She has to mix in the grappling. Joann Jedrzejczyk, there's no way she's been training grappling every day like Zhang Weili has for these Rose Namajunas matchups. She tried to use it in the Rose Namajunas rematch. She came close to winning that one, and she tried to utilize it here against Joann Jedrzejczyk. And Jedrzejczyk hasn't been grappling in her 2 years off. It was the perfect idea. She's been training with Henry Cejudo, and you could see it was very Cejudo-ish grappling. Single leg, trip the other leg, find a sort of like body lock against a cage, go for an inside trip, an outside trip, land inside control, look to take mount. Like, it was a very Henry Cejudo style grappling fest from Zhang Weili, and it was an amazing performance. Joann Jedrzejczyk again had some very good moments early on. Really good moments early on, landed a couple of decent shots, some good leg kicks. Zhang Weili landed a couple of good leg kicks back. Then Zhang Weili started to go to the body with some big kicks, and Joann Jedrzejczyk started to land some punches. Zhang Weili, in my opinion, landed a lot of good punches as well, right on the forehead of Joann Jedrzejczyk, and I was thinking during the middle of it, like, oh my god, is her forehead going to swell up massively again? Joann Jedrzejczyk actually landed a headbutt on Zhang Weili at one moment, but then Zhang Weili, 3 for 6 on takedowns, amazing grappling, and the scrambles were great. Like, jiu-jitsu, good, scrambles, good, pinned the wrist down, took the back control, big shots from there as well, kept it clean, good elbows. I'm surprised Joann Jedrzejczyk wasn't more sliced up and cut open and bleeding in that fight, because Zhang Weili was slicing her with some elbows, and she just looked really, really strong. Really strong. Both women slowed down massively in this matchup, though, so that is something to watch out for. Maybe if she tries to grapple too hard against Carla Esparza, she may end up just getting gassed out, and maybe Esparza can sort of wear on her as the fight goes on, because she's used to that kind of wrestling pace. But in my opinion, if you're going up against Carla Esparza, you've got to experience some heavy grappling in the cage beforehand, and that's what Zhang Weili did. Perfect experience for the Esparza fight. And then round 2, it started to get competitive again, Zhang Weili found herself another takedown, landed a couple of shots here and there, nothing too major this time in round 2. Joanna Jedrzejczyk finds her way back up to her feet, lands some good knees in the clinch. Zhang lands a couple of elbows. Jedrzejczyk starts landing some really good shots. Maybe Jedrzejczyk starting to come back a little bit, looking good, landing some leg kicks, landing some front kicks to the body, some good jabs, some good straight right hands. And then out of nowhere, Joanna Jedrzejczyk dives in on Zhang Weili, maybe looking for the clinch or something like that. And Zhang Weili just spinning back fists her square on the jaw with her forearm. I thought it landed with the elbow first because I knew it didn't land with the fist clean. I was actually worried that Zhang Weili may have broken her forearm as well, because that does typically happen when you do that. I think Paul Felder broke his forearm doing that against Mike Perry. Of course, Mike the Nigerian Nightmare Perry's blockhead was able to snap the elbow of Paul Felder. But what an amazing performance by Zhang Weili. Amazing. A great KO. This card was so good top to bottom. We had some really good KOs on this card. I didn't expect that from Zhang Weili. I thought she was going to win a decision. I said the lock of the card is Zhang Weili, and I'd put some money on her by decision because it makes the odds even better. And I thought that's how it was going to go, because I didn't see her finishing Joanna Jedrzejczyk. But you can't take 2 years out of the ring or the cage. Anyway, any sport, you just can't take 2 years away doing nothing. And she said she trained 5 months for this fight. Zhang Weili's been training for straight 2 years for title fights against Rose Namajunas twice. And now this matchup, back to back to back. No time off. Keep it going. Keep the activity rolling. Keep training. Keep getting better. And that was the difference here, man. Maybe if that didn't land, it would have been a different story, but you can say that all you want. Massive finish by Zhang Weili. Great performance over Joanna Jedrzejczyk. And Jedrzejczyk just, she retired, man. And it was sad the way she retired, in my opinion, because she looked like she didn't really know where she was after the KO, because it was a bad KO. I didn't think she was out cold at first, but when you watch it back, she definitely went limp really badly. And she didn't really know where she was when she got up. She was looking around like, Nis and Dana White and Sean Shelby and my career and great and thank you so much and all of this stuff, and looking around like sort of confused, rubbing her head like, where am I? I'm just going to go through the motion of a retirement speech. But it was very sad to see Joanna Jedrzejczyk retire. You know, she's been around for a very long time in the sport. I mean, just going through her career within the UFC alone, she says 20 years she's been doing this. She was the champion. Not the champion, but she was coming into the UFC in 2014, which is already 8 years in the promotion. Beat Juliana Lima. Beat Claudia Gadelha as well. Beat Carla Esparza, who's the current champ, by TKO. That's something she'll hold. Had the belt for her fight against Penne. Defended against Lorturiano. Jesus Christ, these competition opponents. But either way, she beat her. She beat Claudia Gadelha for the belt. Dominated that fight as well. Had a great performance there. Beat Karolina Kowalkiewicz for the belt. Beat Jessica Andrade for the belt. And dominated her. And that's a really good win. Andrade is still about it now. Doing some really good stuff in the division herself. I mean, it was just great performance after great performance after great performance. Then she lost to Rose Namajunas. Came back. I do believe won the rematch against Rose Namajunas so clearly. I'll talk about that now she's retired. She won the first round. Like, she outlanded Rose Namajunas every round. Fair enough, some rounds Namajunas landed some good strikes, but she really didn't do anything with any grappling. 24-21 in the first, 25-20 in the second, 30-19 in the third for Jedrzejczyk, 38-22 in the fourth, and 28-23 in the fifth. And some judges had it 49-46. Rose Namajunas. 2 judges. 4 rounds to 1. One round was 38-22. The other was 30-19. 2 judges gave one of those rounds to Rose Namajunas. I do believe to this day Joanna Jedrzejczyk beat Rose in those matchups. I know she got rocked, but like, Rose got hit as well and was busted up in that fight herself with a swollen eye and a busted nose and a busted lip. So I really do believe she won the rematch against Rose. She's had some really good wins. She arguably could have won the fight against Zhang Weili, but I gave that to Zhang because of the close rounds. She landed the bigger power shots. There was 3 rounds where they were even on strikes, and those rounds, Zhang Weili did a little bit more damage with the head inflating and rocking Joanna and stuff like that. So I gave that fight to Zhang Weili, but Joanna retired, man. A sad day. Real sad for the sport. She's been around for a while. She always puts on entertaining matchups. There aren't many entertaining women's MMA fighters, and she was one of them, and I respect that. However, it's the nature of the sport. You take time off, you lay around, do your modeling stuff, get tits put in, try this and try that and lounge around on the beach while Zhang Weili's preparing for title fights. You're not going to come back and just waltz into a title shot after beating Zhang Weili, who's been training this entire time. Zhang Weili got it done. I think she beats Carla Esparza as well. Let's talk about what's next for Zhang Weili. She's definitely going to fight Carla Esparza next. I think she's going to beat Carla Esparza very handily as well. And I think Carla Esparza genuinely was watching that fight and thinking, oh God. Rose didn't throw punches at me, and I've been given a belt, and now I'm going to get executed by Zhang Weili, because she's got power, she's got speed, her grappling has massively improved. I don't see Carla Esparza out-grappling Zhang Weili. Remember, Carla Esparza couldn't really do anything in the grappling to Rose Namajunas. She got a couple of takedowns, but never kept her down whatsoever, and Carla Esparza is how old now? 34? Going to be 35 in October. Those two will probably fight in November or something along those lines. Zhang Weili wants it in October. Esparza will be 35. Zhang Weili is still reasonably in her prime. I believe that Zhang Weili is 32 years of age, which is reasonably young compared to some of the other fighters in the women's strawweight division. 32 years of age, born in August, going to be 33. She's got a good 2 years left of her prime, I would say. And I think she's going to take the belt off Carla Esparza. And then the interesting matchups are going to come with the Rose Namajunas trilogy, potentially. I wouldn't have even minded if Joanna stayed around, a Rose Namajunas trilogy there. That'd be cool. But now I reckon what they're going to do at strawweight is Zhang Weili versus Carla Esparza, Marina Rodriguez versus Rose Namajunas, and probably Jessica Andrade versus Mackenzie Dern is what I'm going to say they do as well. In Brazil or something like that. Yeah. Good performance by Zhang. Great KO. Really good stuff. Honestly, really, really good stuff. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching very much indeed. So who those improving fighters? Yuri, Zhang, their grappling's getting better. Click that button up there. Toodle pip, I'll see you later. Goodbye.